Good morning. It's cold in here. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. Good morning, Miss April. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Miss on the Island. Good morning, Miss T. Miller. Good morning, Miss Carletta. It's cold in here, but I couldn't wear my little house coat sweater dress thing I be wearing because your girl be having hot flashes. Thank you. Um, I think this is the end of it because I can feel like the pressure right here. Excuse my line from my bonnet. Good morning, Miss Sunshine. So hopefully this is the end of it. Good morning, ladies. I'll give it another minute and we can get started. I'll try not to keep y'all as long as I kept y'all yesterday. Okay. Go get this thing rolling. Get your morning started. Good morning, Miss Nisa, honey. Good morning, Miss Nisi, baby. Whew. Good morning, Miss DG. Good morning, Miss Nikki. All right. Um, Today is day 7, so we've officially done 1 week of the devotional, the second devotional. Pat yourself on the back because that's amazing. I hope that this is making a difference in your life because I know it's making a difference in mine. I hope that when you go about your days, that you think about what we've talked about, or what you've journaled, or the action step, or even the Bible verse, all of those things. I hope that you think about them, and I hope that it changes your perspective or allows you to make a better decision or do better. So I hope that it is helping. Good morning, Miss Shay. Um, So it is day 7, and our devotional today is fasting and prayer, self-discipline as self-care. And if y'all hear people going back and forth and back around, my husband's getting ready to leave, get back on the road. Ah, thank you, Miss April. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. I appreciate that. It's all God, none of me, all God. Um, our Bible verse is Esther 4:16. Go gather all the Jews, and y'all know this is paraphrased, and fast for me. My maids and I will fast likewise, which we kind of touched on this yesterday. Our devotion is before stepping into her destiny, Esther fasted. Okay. Self discipline is a form of self care. Fasting isn't just about food, it's about refocusing on God. Our affirmation is, and this is very good, I seek God first in all things. All things, no matter how big or small, I seek God first in all things. Our action step is today. Our action step for today is to fast from distractions today. Social media, complaining, negativity, unhealthy food, and replace it with prayer. Okay, I think that's an excellent action step. So let me go ahead and read the actual verse. And y'all know, good morning, Miss Malika. She had um, sent Mordecai something put on because, you know, he was distressed and he ripped off his clothes and all of those things. And so he told her what was going on and look, this could happen to you and so on and so forth. So at this point, she's trying to figure out what to do, right? Because he's telling her, yes, he's telling her to basically go to the king, and you couldn't just go to the king like that. And she knew this, and she would be risking her life if she went to the king. But okay, that's not what we're focused on. And this is for women. Hold on, y'all. Good morning, Miss Patricia. So she was like, you know what? You're right. I I was probably made queen to handle this situation. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. You finna go? Uh-huh. Shut up. Ah, don't stop. I love you too. Have a good ride. Call me. How's your mouth feel? Fine. All right. To seek God before I move. Very good. Excuse me. I thank y'all. Um. So yeah, she was like, she couldn't just go before the king. She had to decide, you know, how she was gonna handle this. Okay, so her instinct was to do what she had been brought up of, and y'all remember they don't mention God anywhere in this chapter, this book of the Bible. But she fasted and she prayed. So that meant that God was present. He was around. He, you know, of course he's always around, but he was there, and they believed in him, and they believed in his guidance, and they believed in going to him before making decisions. So she sent a reply to Mordecai when he came back and said, "Hey, good morning, Miss Janicia. You were made to be queen for a time such as this, right?" And so the verse says, "Go and gather together all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. And then, though it is against the law, I will go in to see the king. If I must die, I must die." Esther was faithful, okay? And maybe it was because of everything that she had been through. Maybe it was because she saw how God worked in her life and took her from an orphan to now she's queen of Persia. But she was faithful, and so she was going to make the decision to go before the king, whether she was summoned or not. So the subject, and sorry for being thrown off, y'all. My husband going back and forth. The subject basically is self-discipline is a form of self-care. So, um, y'all know I did my research, and when Esther said, "If I perish, I perish," that was a statement of faith and courage. Okay, she was willing to put her trust into God. She was willing to be obedient, which is discipline, which is self control, which is a fruit of the Spirit, right? Um, we probably have to do a devotional on the fruits of the Spirit. I think that would be really good. So maybe that'll be one of our devotionals if God tells me to continue going this year. There go hot flash. Anyway, Esther showed that she was obedient to God's will, and she believed that even going through all of this, even taking a chance, risking her life, that God was going to take care of her, however that may be. And I could definitely relate to that from when I was sick. Because, like I said, they tell you all of these things and da da da. And I had to stop looking at what the medical information was saying, what Google was saying, even what some of the doctors were saying. I had to ask God to, whatever you're going to do, Lord, I'm going to go through whatever they tell me to say, Lord. I'm believing that you are going to heal me and that you are going to keep me here. But if you don't, I know that you're going to take care of my loved ones. And that would always be my prayer, that my kids would be okay, that my family would be okay if I left here. And so it's not something that we like to say, we want to say, oh no, I'm going to be here forever. God is going to heal me. And it's not being unfaithful to speak the other words. I didn't believe so. I just knew that my prayer always is things will end up good, okay? I always tell you, everything is working out for my highest good. And even if that meant death for me, as long as I knew that God was going to take care of my family members, that's how I felt. And I feel like that's how Esther was like, I might die, but some kind of way, this plot that this man has to kill all of my people, it's going to be ruined. It's not going to come to pass, whether I'm here or not. And that's the kind of faith that we have to have stepping into life. This may not work out how I think it's going to work out, right? But in the end, we will all be good. It's like when I was telling y'all yesterday, don't focus on the how and the when. Focus on the focus on what it is that you desire, but don't think about the path to get there, okay? I desire for my family to be good either way, whether that was me here or me in heaven, because I was going to heaven. But focus on the end result. How that happened, that's out of my control. And I think that's where we get caught up, because we want to control how everything happens. It's life, right? Don't beat yourself up about that. Anyway, I wanted to talk about how discipline for the feminine woman of faith, how that helps us, right? Fasting strengthens our self-control. I know, right, Miss Cassandra? Both outcomes. Praise God. But fasting strengthens our self-control, okay? Fasting teaches self-control over impulses. A disciplined woman is not ruled by cravings or reactions. She moves with intention. When you have self-control, you are not subject to this happening. Oh, just like what we have going on in the world with the administration, whether that's who you voted for or not. When all of that went down, and I know people were like, "Oh, that's toxic positivity and all of that kind of stuff." It don't matter who's president, king, whoever. The Lord is the one who I follow, right? He's the one who's ultimately in control over everything. Even though stuff doesn't look good, especially for our people, it doesn't bother me. Um, that's not to say that you don't get stressed about hearing certain things, but I don't let it keep me there. I don't be like, oh, the world is ending. None of that. None of that. Good morning, Miss Letitia. Yes, I've been fasting for some things, and I can clearly see what I need to work on. God sat me all the way down. I now prioritize fasting weekly and resetting. I used to do the Daniel fast. I didn't do it last year. I need to do it this year. So that's something I definitely am going to do. I really enjoy doing the Daniel fast. It really wakes you up when you're eating that way. But yeah, so Fasting teaches you self-control. It teaches you not to, good morning, Mr. Kira. It teaches you not to give in to certain things, whether they be impulses or reactions. When you have self-control in your life over what your body, over your finances, over your emotions, over those things, that sets you up to be on a better pathway than you just going through life all willy-nilly. Okay, it's important. Prayer cultivates emotional balance. We have Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, present your requests to God. We seek God first in all things. God has us. We don't have to pray that. Absolutely. We seek God first in all things. A feminine woman radiates peace. Prayer anchors her emotions and calms her mind. And I know that I am always calmer after I pray. After I say a prayer, I'm always like, starting this devotional, it was really like nervous. Like, Lord, what am I going to get on here and say? I tell y'all, I'm not a preacher, a teacher, a pastor, a pastor's wife, none of those things, right? I'm just a regular schmegular person, okay? Regular schmegular. And it was like, Lord, how can I impact these people through you? Okay, through your word. Because y'all know, y'all talking, I tell y'all about a verse, but I don't know where the verse is. You know what I'm saying? Like, me, how am I going to get up here and say these things? But I always say a prayer before I get on here. Lord, help your word to be impactful. Let this reach someone. It don't got to be everybody. And I think that's sometimes what we get caught up on. We want to reach the masses, right? Oh, everything and everything. But we talked about that when I got on here one morning, and we said, do not despise small beginnings. All you need is one. All you need is one. So that's always my prayer. Let this reach someone, Lord. Let it be all you, none of me. Guide me to say the right things, to do the right things. And that always helps me calm down and be able to do what it is that I need to do. So a feminine woman radiates peace. Prayer anchors her emotions and calms her mind. Instead of reacting in frustration or anxiety, prayer builds grace under pressure. And this is what makes it great, because you're teaching us from heart and experiences, and we love this. We appreciate everything you're impacting us. Oh, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss April. I appreciate that. I really do. Because even though, you know, I'm a human being and I do want people to, actually, I do feel good when people tell me those things. So I really, really appreciate that. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Kira. So, fasting detoxes the mind and soul. Fasting is more than a food restriction. It is about clearing mental and emotional clutter. Woo, that's good. That's a word for me, okay? Because I was reading something yesterday, and they were saying, they were talking about, how to get, I'll read everything. So how to get different things that you want in life. And one of the first steps that they said is that you need to remove clutter from your life. And that really spoke to me, because like right now, I want a new car. Y'all know my car had issues. My husband fixed everything this morning, yesterday and this morning. So my car is running. There are some work that needs to be done on it, but it's work that can be done. Nothing drastic, right? And he said, baby, I know you want a new car, but that trunk, you still got stuff in that trunk from when you moved in. And all I could do is hang my head in shame, because it's true. You know how men keep cars, and I ain't saying all women keep cars like this, but a lot of women, especially moms, how they keep cars. Our car is like our office, right? When I call upon the name of Jesus, I feel the calmness come over. I know that's right, Miss Cassandra. That car. So today I said I don't have eyes in today. I'm going to get up sometime today, and I'm going to go to the car wash, and I'm going to go to my storage and put whatever stuff I have in there. It's just like different little knickknacks and stuff. put it in the storage, and I'm going to go and clean my car out really well. Because how can you ask God for more in your life if you don't take care of what you have, right? How can you ask him for more if you're not being a good steward over what he has already bestowed upon you, right? So fasting helps remove the emotional and mental clutter from our life, right? And also remove the real clutter from your life, okay? It helps break free from toxic patterns, negative self-talk, which we talk about all the time, and worldly distractions. When you are fasting, you are focused on God, okay? You're focused on praying. You're focused on maybe whatever you're fasting for, because sometimes, you may fast for a solution. You may fast for protection. You may fast for different things. And so that is your focus. You are not focused on worldly stuff of what's going around you. And that is why God likes when we fast, because it moves the focus back on him. Prayer and fasting refine feminine grace. Esther fasted before stepping into her destiny. She embodied elegance, wisdom, and faith. She did. Like, that was like the ultimate move. She was like, I'm going to fast. My maids are going to fast. You fast. If I got to die, I got to die. But I'm finna do this thing. I am finna go into the king and I'm going to ask him. And she asked God to help her, and he helped her. He allowed her to be able to, um, how do you say it? I forget how to say it. Appeal to the king's, you know, uh, manly nature, right? And we'll see that play out later on. We actually saw earlier when we were talking about homemaking how, she made everything nice for him and invited her into her quarters for a banquet, and he offered her up half the kingdom. Like, that was all God telling her to do those things. That was the purpose of her fasting, so she could get direction and guidance, and also let God know that she was obedient and to protect her. And he did all of those things. A disciplined woman knows when to be still and when to act. Fasting enhances discernment. I love that. I love that. Baby, one thing that you need to have as a feminine woman and also as a seasoned woman is discernment, okay? You need to be able to go out into this world and be able to use your intuition, use your wisdom, whether if you need to ask God for more wisdom on a subject, use prayer and all of those things to make decisions in your life. So one thing you need to get besides wisdom is discernment, and God can definitely help you with that. He can help you discern what's good for you, what path you should be going on, where you shouldn't go. We often make excuses uh, when God has said don't do something. Well, we just want to have fun. Well, life is so hard. Well, I've been through this. But all the while, we have to understand that God is protecting us, and he is trying to keep his promise to us to keep us, right? And that just means that sometimes we're going to have to use our discernment and actually use it, not just hear it, but actually use it and not do the things that we aren't supposed to do. Okay. Um, Fasting builds spiritual endurance, which it does. Jesus fasted before his ministry, showing that spiritual power comes from discipline. A woman who can fast and pray with consistency builds endurance for life's challenges. If you have the ability to fast and pray about things rather than how we talked about earlier, going off the handle, giving into impulses and reactions and things like that, you have spiritual power. You can go through life's challenges, right? It builds endurance. It gives you the ability to be persistent even when things don't look like you want them to look. It allows you to be obedient and to trust God. It builds up that trust because a lot of times, so y'all know, um, I believe in manifestation, but I don't believe like in the woo woo of it. I believe that God says that we, can manifest and all of those things. Um, but a lot of times they'll be like, if you've ever listened to like manifestation videos and stuff, they'll be like, they want certain things to happen, but they don't see any movement in the 3D. And so what the 3D is what we are right now, our physical reality. And I always say, because it is true, if you think about the things that have occurred in your life, it's because you had thought about them in the past. It is your past coming into fruition, basically. And a lot of times they'll say, well, we don't see any movement in the 3D, but things are always happening, okay? God is always out there working in the background. I love to say he goes before us because he truly does. He knows everything that's going to happen before it even happens. And knowing that, we can trust that he is going to lead us down the right path. He is going to make the things happen that need to happen, and everything is always going to work out for your highest good. Discipline isn't just about control. It's about letting God lead. When you have discipline, you can allow God to lead in your life. When you know how to come correct, so to speak, you know how to pray, you know how to fast, you know how to discipline yourself to not give in to things that are going on around you, you can surrender, my word, and you can allow God to do what it is that he needs to do to bring you to the place he needs to bring you to. Fasting and prayer make you a woman of influence. We talked about a little bit about being influential woman yesterday. When you fast and prayer, when you are disciplined, when you fast and pray, when you are disciplined and you have disciplined your flesh, because fasting is about disciplining your flesh, right? It's about saying, and it's not necessarily about food. Maybe you are fasting from social media. I need to do that fast. Maybe you are fasting from looking at TV, certain music. Maybe you are fasting from just different things in your life, not necessarily food. That helps you build up discipline. That helps you gain wisdom in order for you to move about your life, okay? Because you are not subject to the things that are going on around you. You know how to rely on the Lord. Right. We are in this world, but not of this world. We are set apart. We are set apart. We are seasoned, soft, and set apart, right? A woman who disciplines her flesh carries wisdom and influence in her home, marriage, and community. You know those women that you know that you can go to give you that good prayer. You know that church mother back in the day, who you could go to and she was fasting and praying on your behalf. You know how you go to the altar and you ask for things, and you know that person prays for you, and you're like, I know it's done. I know it's done. Like I felt that feeling before. I don't know if you've ever felt that feeling before, but that's the woman that I aspire to become, right? I kind of am. People will, well, when I used to work outside the home and I used to be in the office, one of the things that I used to do, because we would, and I think I've told y'all this before, we used to work with people in different situations, and some of those situations were bad and they were dire and they needed their money, right? And I had me a running prayer list pinned up in my cubicle. And when people needed some help with a situation, they needed help with a person, they were going through a situation and they really wanted to resolve this issue for this person, they would come and they would put their name on that prayer list. And I would pray. I'd be like, look, we gonna pray for this, and it wouldn't be nothing like crazy. Not that that's crazy, but y'all know what I mean. Like, I wouldn't be long winded or anything like that. I would just be like, Lord, help them with the situation. Give them what it is that you believe that they need. Guide them, keep them. Don't let them get evicted from their home, or don't let their kid get kicked out of school, or don't let the house be sold from under them, or whatever the deal may be, because it was like different situations like that. And my boss would always laugh. She would chuckle or whatever, but she was a woman. She would chuckle because she was a woman of God, and she would put people on that. She would put people on that prayer list too, and that's just what I did. But I aspire to be the woman that people will come to and say, you know what, I know she is connected with God. Okay, not that we aren't all connected with God, but I know that she walks with God. I know that, she she's not going to take what I'm telling her lightly or anything like that, right? She attracts favor effortlessly because she is spiritually anchored. Yes, anchor me, Lord. Anchor me in your word. Anchor me in your love. Anchor me in your faith. Anchor me in your guidance, Lord Jesus. Anchor me. Anyway, I'll go ahead and read the devotional again. Excuse me, y'all, about sniffling. Day 7, fasting and prayer, self-discipline as self-care. Esther 4:16, go gather all the Jews and fast for me. My maids and I will fast likewise. And we cannot forget what she said. If I must die, I must die. Okay? If I must die, I must die. The devotion. Before stepping into her destiny, Esther fasted. Self-discipline is a form of self-care. It leads to self-control, which is the fruit of the spirit. Fasting isn't about food. It is about refocusing on God. So what is it that you need to fast from in order to get your focus back to God? Is it social media? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it just your phone, period? Is it shopping? Do we need to get off of the shopping sites? Is it books? Is that taking up all of your time? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be bad things, but is it taken away from what you can have with God? So just think about those things, and also think about what are the things that you need to get disciplined as far as areas in your life. Like for me, like I told y'all today, I'm gonna go clean out that trunk. Okay, I'm gonna clean out the car and get it right. I'm gonna look at some areas in my home, excuse me, to declutter. That shopping, Lord, yes. I understand. I understand, Ms. Janice. I understand. Okay. So what is it that, in your life? Maybe it's Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you wake up in the morning and you wake up extra early and you think you do all of the things, but maybe you stand in that Starbucks line for 10 minutes and maybe you can make coffee at home and pray and read your Bible. God just wants a little bit of your time. That's it. That's it. He wants a little bit of one-on-one time with you. I know we do our devotional. I know that is helping us connect. But the reason for the devotional is to take this outside of us talking about it and get a little one-on-one time with God. So think about today, what is it that may be keeping you from having that one-on-one time from God? Is it that favorite TV show that you got to watch at night before you go to bed, whether that's on your phone? Is it that YouTube video? You know, do you run when this person posts a video and go hurry up and watch their video? And maybe instead of doing that this time, you see the notification pop up for their video. You say, I'm gonna watch that video later, but I'm gonna give God 5 minutes, right? Yes, He is worthy. He deserves our worship. Amen. I'm gonna give God that. I'm gonna give God that 5 minutes first, okay? Before I spend an hour on this person's vlog, and I'm talking about me, and I got a vlog, y'all. I gotta finish editing it. I haven't done any editing and stuff like that, because my husband's been here and I've just been spending time with him. We had a really good time this past few weeks, celebrated my daughter getting married, we went to her new house yesterday, and that was his first time over there, so he was doing things. And we had Valentine's Day, we had the twins' birthday and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get it together, y'all, I promise. I'll post a vlog either today or tomorrow. Also, I got this cold. But yes, those TV shows, take time to actually spend time with God first. Then go watch your show. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, just like our affirmation, I seek God first in all things, that really means all things. That really means, taking the time out to seek Him first before we go throughout our day, before we do things in our life. And that's even the little things like jumping on TikTok, okay? I say that because I love to jump on TikTok and look at TikTok. But sometimes maybe you just need to spend a few minutes with the Lord before you do those things, okay? And maybe, you never know, you get on TikTok and the right video hits you. And it goes from there and there and there. So lead with God first. How about that? Hope you feel better soon because it's okay. Exactly. Okay. It was cold. Then it was raining, and we were kind of going. Saturday, it was like I already had a scratchy throat, and then Saturday it was cold and it was raining. So, and I was out and about with my husband, and then we went and took the twins out to eat for their birthday and all this kind of stuff. So, I think that got us. I think that got me. So our affirmation is, I seek God first in all things. Yes, Ms. Angie, lead with God. Lead with God. Our action step is fast from distractions today, social media, negativity, unhealthy food, and replace it with prayer. And also, I would challenge you to declutter something, or again, before you go and do the thing that you normally do, spend a few minutes with God first. Lead with Him first, okay, and then get on with what you would get on with the getting on, right? So anyway, that is all I have for y'all today. I have been yesterday I worked on a few stickers before my grandson got here. That little boy is getting to be something else. They forgot his pacifier yesterday, baby. He wasn't trying to hear that. So my husband was around here like playing with him and running him ragged all day, so he would just be focused on something else rather than that pacifier. So anyway, but that's all I have. If y'all don't have anything else, I will bid y'all farewell. I don't hope. I pray and intend for you to have the best day. Praying for traveling grace. I leave Thursday with crew. Oh, which is Zumba crew out of Galveston. Okay. I pray you have an amazing trip. I know that you will, Miss Cassandra. Relax. Thank you, Miss Nikki. Yes. You have a great day as well, Miss April. So I pray and intend for y'all to have the most amazing day and the most amazing rest of your week. And I will see y'all tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We ain't gonna have all these distractions, and I'm gonna be able to breathe. All right, y'all. Bye. Have a great trip, Miss Cassandra. Bye, y'all.